Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. It's your man L.A. Cheatham, and we back.
Yeah.
Getting ready for another season. I'm ready for some football. About to close this off season out. The NBA season wrapped up. But this is why we do it, getting ready for some football. And this is going to be a show tonight with more of a local flavor as far as Chicago is concerned.
So you telling me I got the wrong hat on? Okay.
The expectations of the two Calebs in the city of Chicago. And give me a second or two. Let me straighten some out. Got some technical things going on. Hold on.
So you basically telling me this is a local flavor. That the New York Yankees will not be talked about tonight. But it's all good. Football is back. We will have football every weekend from here on out until March. And if you like me, that's a wonderful bit of news. Summer went by pretty quick. After the NBA Finals ended, we had the World Cup. I wasn't locked into the World Cup like that, but the World Cup lasted about 5-6 weeks. And then once that ended, then it was like that. But all the dog days of summer. So once we get the dog days of summer, then that's when I really started counting down to like, once before the tournament, then the Wolverines going to fall camp. When is Big Ten Media Days? When is, what I'm saying? When can we expect some hits? And we are finally here at that point.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, we never left. We was over here filling in.
Okay.
We never left. We was filling in. You got me? You can hear me?
I had to jump in and take care of some things. I had some things I didn't get to before we actually started. But once again, all systems are go. We back.
Yeah.
Off season may be coming to an official close tonight. We got Hall of Fame football coming up. The Hall of Fame game tonight, the NFL. The Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals kicking it off tonight in Canton. Carson Beck, I think he'll be starting for the Cardinals, and Kenny Pickett will be starting for the Panthers. We got a handful of Hall of Fame inductees. A lot of these names we're familiar with. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald. Let's try and do this like they do at the graduation. Can you hold your applause? All right, I'm gonna do that again. Drew Brees, quarterback, New Orleans Saints. Larry Fitzgerald, Arizona Cardinal. Luke Kuechly, linebacker for the Carolina Panthers. Roger Craig, and I think he's overdue for Hall of Fame induction. Yeah, he might be overdue for induction, but he goes in. Roger Craig and Adam Vinatieri.
Shout out to Roger Craig for fumbling that ball in the 1990 NFC Championship game when the 49ers was going for the three-peat, and he fumbled that ball, and that allowed the New York Football Giants to get to the Super Bowl, and they went on to defeat the Buffalo Bills. Scott Norwood, wide left, I believe their kick was. Shout out to Roger Craig. Not, Hall of Fame career, but yeah.
So you wasn't a fan of the 49ers, huh? I take it.
I was. That was my team. And then, Deion went there, and that was really my team. But when Prime left, I was like a lot of these LeBron fans. I went with
wherever Deion Sanders' prime was, that's where he was going. I remember that.
Yeah.
But Roger Craig going into the Hall of Fame, that's a name that you probably would have thought was already in. Adam Vinatieri. The rest of these inductees are probably right on time. I'm not sure. Is this a first ballot opportunity for Drew Brees? Think it is.
Yeah, I gotta assume so. With the
Yeah,
passing records he broke, I'm sure he's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
maybe even so for Larry Fitzgerald as well. One thing about Larry Fitzgerald, um, is all he accomplished as wide receiver in the NFL. Um, he had like 22 quarterbacks. I didn't know that. There's no one. I mean, I think he went to the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner,
Kurt
right?
Warner, yeah.
So getting to the Super Bowl was an accomplishment, and you can attach Kurt Warner to that. But for him to go into the Hall of Fame as a wide receiver and have that many quarterbacks, if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard it was 22 quarterbacks. That's a hell of an accomplishment, considering that there's not just one or two guys that you can attach to his success. Like when you say Jerry Rice, you say Joe Montana. You know what I mean?
Would you
When
would you like me to run the list of
no,
quarterbacks you played with?
I mean you might want to name a few. I mean I don't think we may not even remember all 22 of them, but I'm pretty sure we're going to remember a few, and a lot of them we probably forgotten about, and you know what I mean. So but that's a hell of an accomplishment. I think Kurt Warner might be the only one worth mentioning.
Kurt
I mean,
Warner.
mhm.
I was double checking my facts. Carson Palmer. He played
Okay,
with Carson
Carson was
Palmer
pretty
for
good.
4 years. He played with Sam Bradford. Kyler Murray is most notable, most recently. Matt
Hmm.
Leinart,
Hmm.
Sean King, Josh McCown, John Navarre. Shout out, he went to Michigan. Kevin Cole, Ryan Lindley. These are just guys. Brian Hoyer, Drew Stanton, Blaine Gabbert. But his most successful quarterbacks that he played with, or best partnerships he had, was with Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer.
Yeah. So, um, like I said, hell of an accomplishment for him getting in there with that many quarterbacks. Drew Brees. One thing about that stood out about his career, as good as he was, he did win a Super Bowl with New Orleans, but he got off to a rough start. I believe it was a
San
couple
Diego
teams
Chargers.
gave up on him.
Yeah, shoulder
Sandy,
injury.
yeah, had a shoulder injury, and I think that the Chargers gave up on him. But I believe the Dolphins
Right.
had interest in him too, but they decided that they wouldn't pursue him or something because of that injury, and he went to New Orleans. Got with Sean Payton, and the rest was history. And I believe Sean Payton will be inducting Drew Brees into the Hall of Fame. So shout out to those guys. They're going into the Hall. Cardinals and Panthers once again. We ready for some football. I mean, I don't expect to see the first stringers. One other player in that game notable to be mentioned, it would be Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame. I think he was picked third overall in the NFL, if I'm not in the NFL draft of 2025 or 2026, I believe.
Yeah, he was a good draft.
So I don't expect to see him much tonight either. But Carson Beck, quarterback, the Miami Hurricanes into the national championship game against Indiana last season, and he's going to get an opportunity to get his NFL career going. And he's going to, I think they got him slated to start. Once again, Kenny Pickett will be starting for the Panthers. Carson Beck is set to start for the Cardinals. So we are ready for some football as far
Did
as
you hear
tonight is concerned.
the Carson Beck interesting I guess fact
Nah,
that
what's up with that?
he threw the last pass of the college football season, and he has a chance to throw the first pass of the upcoming NFL season. Remember, he threw that pick.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting. Man, they make a story out of anything, but
Hey, hey man.
just the Hall of Fame game, so they ain't gonna count. You know what I'm saying? His first pass in this game could be a touchdown. It won't count. I mean, it'll count on tape as far as evaluation and competing for that job, but he won't count in the stat books. But that's an interesting fact. I mean, that's just how thirsty we are
Hmm.
for sports, football, NFL. They'll just come up with anything and make a big deal out of it at this time. But it's football season, man. Everyone's looking great at camp. If you go around the league, everyone's looking great. Everyone's going to go undefeated. And in on a local level, I have come to the conclusion that the Chicago Bears I will no longer identify them as the Chicago Bears. I'm going to call them this season the Chicago Calebs.
Wait, you 82% on board though. You back with the squad.
Listen,
The team
82,
became the team.
82 is not 100.
It's more than half. It's more
I
than three
know.
quarters.
82 is not 100. I'm just saying. So, like I said, right now, they are the Chicago Calebs. Uh, you get injured, they may talk about you. You sign a new contract, they may talk about you. But other than that, all Caleb, all the time. It's amazing. So right now, they're Chicago Caleb. So that brings us to our subject tonight. The expectations of the two Calebs in Chicago. When before the NBA draft, this is Caleb Wilson is exactly what I wanted the Chicago Bulls to get. And that's who they got. Um, I don't know if it's fair to say that had Caleb Wilson had not injured his hand prior to the NCAA tournament and had a good showing in the NCAA tournament, this draft probably could have played out for the Chicago Bulls totally different. Now they picked him number 4 in the 2026 NBA draft, and I was excited about the summer league. And I saw some things I liked about Caleb Wilson, and I saw some weaknesses as well. But the expectations of the two Calebs in the city of Chicago. So Caleb Wilson, first and foremost. Uh, what do you think as far as I don't know if you've seen him much in the summer league. I think he played 2 games more than I
Game.
thought he would.
Yeah.
What do you think? Did you get a chance to see Caleb Wilson in any time this summer in the summer league?
You know I'm not a summer league guy, but I did catch some of his highlights because I was
Yeah.
just interested to see how he looked. Did he, look like he belonged, especially coming off that hand injury? And he was one of the most talked about players at the summer league. I know Darren Peterson and AJ DeBonsa, they didn't play a lot either. But and again, we in the Chicago market, but Caleb Wilson looked like he went out there and he really impressed. People fell in love with his personality. His game on the floor backed it up. He had the monster dunk in, I think, the second game he played, which had people standing up and applauding that. Even Darren Peterson was at the game, like, "Yo, that was nice." So, but as far as Caleb coming into the fold this year, he's coming into a total rebuild. He's coming into a whole brand new organization. I forget what the president of operations, his name is now for the Bulls, but they got a new coach in Tiago Splitter. Not a lot of talent on the team. I know they signed Norman Powell from the Miami Heat, but outside of that, it's a rebuilding project. So I don't know how much they want to put on Caleb Wilson's shoulders, other than it's your team. This is your franchise to go ahead and take. They're gonna clear the runway for that. But as far as expectations, what I expect of Caleb Wilson, do I expect him to win rookie of the year, anything like that? No, just go out there, have a solid season, be on the all, one of the top rookies. You competing with at least 3 other guys. I don't expect Darius Acuff to do much out. He's in Sacramento. We know that's a bad situation. He might have big numbers, but I don't think that's going to affect winning. I hope that doesn't put his career out on the wrong foot where he just gets set up where he's used to losing. Because, like I said, Sacramento, that's not a good situation. We seeing Zach LaVine trying to get up out of there, get a buyout. We saw DeMar DeRozan. I think he just got a buyout. He just got up out of there. So that just kind of lets you know they didn't even bring Russ Westbrook back. I mean, this Sacramento, y'all ain't doing really at least have them guys on the team to try and sell a ticket or two. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but back to Caleb Wilson. I just expect him to go out there, have a solid season. I don't expect the Bulls to challenge for anything. Just be relevant, be in the conversation, be amongst the Chicago sports scene, because we got the Cubs in it, we got the Sox in it. The Bears are already dominating everything. The Blackhawks, they just signed Patrick Kane back, so they're looking to make a playoff run. Just be relevant. Don't be the bottom tier like we looking at how the White Sox was 2 years ago, and you didn't set a record for losing the most games in history or something like that. Just be relevant.
Yeah, for me, I seen him play at least two of the. I want to say he played about 4 summer league games. I think he played 2 more than I expected him to. I think the reason why he played as many as he did because I think he really wanted to play ball, and coming off that injury, I think he just really wanted to hoop. And in the summer league situation, I think they just kind of let him go, and in the process of them letting him go, I don't think they put a lot on his plate strategically. But I was able to look at him, and I saw his improvements from his North Carolina, the games I seen him play in North Carolina, and I even went back as far as some of his high school. I watched a couple of his high school games as well, and when you look at his highlights from college and high school, it was a lot of highlight like dunking and stuff like that. So we knew he was very athletic and could play about 3 or 4 positions defensively. But I questioned his ability to shoot the basketball. But coming into the summer league, you can tell that he had actually worked on that part of his game, and he was building confidence in shooting the basketball. And he showed his ability to defend as well. Now, I question his ability to play make and ball handling. And coming out of those games, those summer league games that he participated in, those were a couple of his weaknesses. And he was also drafted with Dalen Swain, 6'7" guard out of Texas. Now, Swain, I have AJ Dubonza is going to play with Trae Young and Anthony Davis. That's if Anthony Davis doesn't get moved. I think we need to look at that going into next season in NBA, looking at the trade deadline.
Where you going, Philly?
You never know. We can get to we're gonna get to Philly before we get off the basketball and we don't go into the football topic. But AJ Dubonza going into the season, he's going to have to share some of the load with Trae Young and Anthony Davis, and I think he's going to sacrifice. His game is going to sacrifice a little bit. So I think don't get me wrong, I do believe the first month or so he might get off to a fast start. But I think as the season progresses, Anthony Davis got to do his thing. That's if he stays healthy. Trae Young just got extended, I think.
Yep.
And I think he's going to have to do his thing.
Extended. He opted just out of a new contract. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So those two guys, the only way they're going to have success in the NBA is playoffs. It's just get to the playoffs now. They're in their veteran stages of their careers. They want to get to the playoffs, and I believe, and when you think about that, AJ Dubonza may sacrifice some of his game for the purpose of the team. So I don't know if I want to favor him to be rookie of the year. So that just moves Caleb Wilson up in my book. I think now Darren Peterson went to the Utah Jazz. He looked really good in his summer league opportunities. They questioned his ability, not his ability, but his health and his commitment.
Yeah.
And he did really well because Utah was able to play a handful of games in the Utah Summer League before it even went to Vegas, and he played a very competitive style of basketball in all of those games in the Utah um, exposure games. He played very well in those games on both ends, and also showed the ability to play well with the other guys around him. Meaning he made plays, he played defense. He made plays for other guys. He found open guys. He found the guys when they were open. He knew when to take his shots. He didn't seem like a ball hawk or nothing like that. He just played really well, and then continued to show some of that when he got to Vegas. I think he only played maybe 2 games in Vegas. And by that point, I had seen enough of him in the Utah Summer League to know that okay, I seen enough of this guy. The Kobe Bryant comparisons, I can see that, and I think it's pretty fair to say if he can stay healthy in Utah. Now, keep in mind he's playing with what's the kid they brought in last year?
Ace
Ace
Bailey.
Bailey,
Yeah,
Ace
they got a lot of
Bailey, and the
Deontay
big,
George, I think.
and then they had what's the big marketing? Marketing still in Utah, right?
I don't know if he did. I know Walker Kessler is gone. Let me just check it
Walker
out.
Kessler signed with the Lakers, but I think
Yeah.
marketing is in Utah as well. So Ace Bailey, and if marketing is there,
Marking in there.
okay, so he's gonna have to kind of, you know what I'm saying? You get where I'm going here now. On the other hand, you got Cam Boozer that went to Memphis, and I believe he's the one that they'll probably let go and let him play. But the question with Cam is he's not that type of player, in my opinion. He's more of a, I believe he's a, it would have been nice if Cam Boozer could have ended up in Golden State.
Yeah, he need to be.
Yeah,
I,
he'd
Cam,
be better off on a competitor right now.
that's what I'm saying. Cam Boozer would be better with not the Utah team, the Washington team,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's more of
Yeah.
a role
He
guy,
more of a role
guy.
guy. He do
Yeah,
whatever's needed. He
yeah,
don't even have to, he don't have to get a bunch of shots to be effective. He's gonna play well. He should play well on both ends. And he's got the mentality in right now, the professional attitude that you would think that say, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice my game so that we can win, do whatever I do need to do to win. Well, those other guys, they they pretty much gonna need the basketball in order for them to impact winning. Um, but so AJ playing with Davis and Young and Peterson playing with his guys in Utah. This is why I moved Caleb Wilson up. Now the question with Caleb Wilson is this: the guy that the Bulls picked up from the Heat. You said his
Norman
name earlier.
Powell. Norman Powell.
Yeah. So the key, I think Norman Powell is the key to Caleb Wilson becoming the rookie of the year, because I don't see Norman Powell being a playmaker. I see him being a floor spacer for the Bulls.
Yeah,
And if that's what's going to happen, I believe that he's gonna have an opportunity to do a lot of things, finish at the rim, shoot his jump shot. I'm talking about Wilson. If he can hit his jump shot with consistency, and I'm not even talking about all the way out to the 3-point line. I'm just talking about if he can play a consistent mid-range game, along with the highlight type players he's going to already have the ability to have. If he can pull a DeMar DeRozan, I can see him being, if he can be a poor man's DeMar DeRozan, I'm talking about from a field goal percentage standpoint. meaning that's you don't have to shoot a bunch of threes, high percentage shots, play well on both ends. I believe he could be the rookie of the year. That's why my expectations are high for Caleb Wilson, because I think depending on the veterans around him, I think he will have an opportunity to showcase his game. The expectations of the Bulls, like you said, they're not extremely high. So that is the patience portion of it that they don't. If this Bulls playoff team get to where the last 2 years, like close to the play in,
Yeah.
this particular team, that would be a hell of an accomplishment considering how it would be done if Caleb Wilson is one of the top two scorers on that team, and you can get to the play-in game, and he's a rookie of the year candidate. I believe that's a successful season for Caleb Wilson and the Bulls, because at that point he's ascending, and all you got to do is start to build around him and the rest of those guys. Now I do believe that between Caleb Wilson, Josh Giddey, and Martellus Buzelis and Josh Giddey, I believe one of those guys in the next 2 seasons will be gone.
Oh yeah.
Especially if Caleb Wilson is going to play as well or seem to be the superstar that most are thinking he could be. I don't see it being enough room for all three of those guys, because you're going to have a legitimate point guard and a legitimate big to play with them. So I just don't see all three of them being there in 2 years. And if Caleb Wilson plays well, between Giddey and Buzelis, one of them will be gone.
It's gonna be similar to Bryson Graham. That's his name. The front office.
Yeah. The vice
brother.
president
Yeah.
of basketball operations
Yeah.
for the Bulls. Yeah, but those are my expectations for Caleb Wilson. And like I said, I got the thing with him is just patience. Patience, playing at a high level, and just show that you belong and be patient. And I mean, not be patient, but just show that you belong, and the fan base will have the patience for him to come around as long as this Bulls team and he's leading the charge. 2 years from now, you will want to be playoff contenders. I mean, not play in games. I'm talking about a little legitimate playoff contenders. I'm talking about in the playoffs, not in the play in. But this year, 2026, 2027, play in for the Bulls will be an accomplishment, in my opinion. If Caleb Wilson is ascending and show that he can be the man in Chicago.
If they are playing contending team, that means Bryson Graham got a little bit more, I guess, as a core to work with than what we, I guess, initially projected. I think this first year with Caleb Wilson is going to be similar to when Ryan Poles first got in, and kind of see who I'm keeping, who my core guys is, and who I got to get up out of here to tear down, so we can go ahead and ultimately take the North. So it's going to be the same type of thing. But like I said, if Caleb Wilson can keep the Bulls relevant, he will be in Rookie of the Year talks, and we'll just have to see how it shake out. It's unfortunate that CHSN, that ain't on my cable network, so I don't get to see a lot of the Bulls games. They never on national TV, so it's like the last 2 years, I almost forgot we had a professional basketball team because I don't see them no more. And shout out to rest in peace, Stacey King. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I don't know how we can talk about this upcoming Chicago Bulls team without even mentioning Stacey. And just to think of the legendary calls he had, and it's just unfortunate. You can only imagine with this kid coming to town. You can only imagine how he would categorize, how he would call this kid's games. But so Caleb Wilson, you don't have to be Mike, but you definitely got to be Derrick Rose at some point.
Well, he started off wrong because he wearing New Balance.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, we got to talk about that. I mean, he may not be worthy of the Jordan brand right now. I would have loved for him to be on Jordan brand like right now. But New Balance, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. But hopefully hopefully that deal ain't too long, and hopefully in the next couple of years, him and Jordan cross paths, and we can kind of, put this thing, get him in the right pair of shoes, if nothing else. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my only knock on him is that his ball handler is a little suspect. And his ability to make his playmaking ability off the passes need to be worked on in damn New Balance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a knock. I got a problem with him wearing them New Balance. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my expectations. He needs to be contending to be rookie of the year. And that will make him relevant in my eyes. I got patience, but I need for him to be in that rookie of the year race because of the reasons why. Because of the core of guys that the other top rookies are going to be playing with, and expectations around those guys as well. So uh that's what I need from Caleb Wilson. I mean, you don't have to win rookie of the year, but you better raise some hell and be close to it. It better be a tough decision at the end if you
Yeah.
don't win it outright. I need him to be there. You know what I'm saying? That's my expectations for Caleb Wilson. Now, the other Caleb, uh, Caleb Williams, the Chicago Bears. As we said, we getting ready for some football. We not too long away from kickoff in the Hall of Fame game, but let's talk about the Chicago Bears expectations and the expectations of Caleb Williams. What do you think? What are your expectations? What would you consider success with Caleb Wilson and the Chicago Calebs?
Well, the Chicago Bears. I don't think I know a lot of pundits, national pundits, is picking them as the number one team for the most regression coming up this year, and it's gonna look different. Trust me, it's not gonna be the 7 comeback wins in the last 2 minutes. It's not gonna be the defense leading the league in turnovers again this year. It's not gonna be, the magical Caleb moments that we had. Like it's gonna look totally different because each season is its own separate entity. His second year with Ben Johnson, I think that's gonna be the biggest uh, positive that he has in his corner. Ben is psycho on winning, and Ben is not gonna let Caleb half step. So being that those two are paired together, I'm kind of looking at this as like an Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes type situation, and just gonna watch them grow together, and hopefully that they got a 10-year run or a 15-year run together. But just them two being in the fold is gonna keep the Bears relevant year in and year out, and that's more of a credit to Ben Johnson, I think, than Caleb. Not Caleb's hella talented. I'm not gonna take that away from him. I do believe we got the quarterback for the foreseeable future. But the fact that Ben Johnson is at the helm and he's so maniacal about winning and doing things the right way, and we not cutting no corners, that's going to keep the Bears in the game, in contention, year in and year out. Now, do I expect them to win the Super Bowl this year? I don't. Do I expect them to at least get back to the divisional again? Yes. Do I expect them to win the NFC North again this year? Yes, I do. But as far what was their record last year? 11-6. 11-6.
I think so, yeah.
I'm thinking they may be more like a 10-7 this year because they play in the first place schedule this year. I know they start who they open with the preseason.
They open up with the Carolina Panthers in Carolina.
Yeah. So but some of their later more difficult games, like they got to go to Seattle. I was hoping that they got that opener game with Seattle to get that game out of the way. While we relatively healthy, I think that game comes like maybe week 10, week 11, somewhere back then. So we just hope that health don't play a major part in that game. We get to that game where we kind of hitting on all full cylinders. But yeah, the same thing you did last year was a surprise. They got to the divisional. They won the NFC North. This year is doubling down. They need to do at least that again. I'm not expecting again Super Bowl. I'm not expecting NFC Championship. But you got to do at least do the same thing you did last year. And they was the 2 seed last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ain't even saying they got to be the 2 seed, but divisional.
Mm-hmm.
They got to be back in the divisional this year.
Yeah. Well, Caleb Williams. Now, you said a lot of people picking him to regress.
Yeah.
To that, I say, it's one thing to hunt, it's another thing to be the hunted, and there's tape on this offense. The defense, they lost a lot of their guys a lot of the guys that had those turnovers.
Nation Wright, he
uh,
gone.
Kevin Byard, I
Gone.
believe, was the best player on the team.
And he led the league in interceptions.
That's what I'm saying. So, and then they just signed Kobe Bryant, and he's out with an injury. They're saying they're not sure how long he's out. I mean, at one point I heard 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, Ben shot that down today.
And then Ben shot that down earlier. So we really don't know how long Kobe Bryant is out with this injury. And then I heard Montez Sweat went down with an injury, and Braxton Jones did as well on the offensive line. But Caleb Williams, there's tape on Caleb, and I think Caleb has some tendencies that needs to be checked. Make play, he made quite a few plays last season. But the Bears won the division. They went 2-4 in the NFC North and won the division. So, beating the Raiders, the best victory of the season probably was the Philadelphia Eagle game. I think most people would say that was their best. That was the most impactful victory of the regular season.
You don't think beating the Packers, getting over that hump?
The Packers weren't the Eagles though at that time. The Packers weren't the Eagles.
The Packers was what Ohio State was to Michigan. It was
but the Packers weren't the Eagles. The Eagles were the Super Bowl defending champions, and they went into Philly and won that game. Okay, in front of a nationally televised audience. I believe that was the biggest victory because no one expected them to play that well and be that dominant. I think that was the biggest victory this season. Now, I understand Bear fans and not, wanting to beat the Packers, but I don't want to overrate what the Packers were last year. I really don't, because as much as they talk about quarterback play, when you go back to those games, I think it was 3 games played last year between the Bears and the Packers. The Bears won 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And lost the one game at the end. He threw the pick in the end zone right at the end of the game.
Say that again.
The game they lost in Green Bay.
Okay.
Threw the pick in the end zone. At the end of the game to win.
All right. So I'm gonna say this about the Packers. And in my opinion, the one knock I had on Jordan Love last season was that he was inconsistent and he wasn't healthy. But if you compare the 2 quarterbacks, people seem to forget that when the Bears beat the Packers, it was in come from behind fashion. And especially in the playoff game, Jordan Love played well enough to win that football game.
Weren't they up 21-3?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Packers' special team and defense is what let them down. But this is why we watch the game, because we give an opportunity for people to remember these things. Jordan Love played well enough to win that football game. The problem is the Packers' special teams and defense broke down. The Bears had an onside kick, and I believe was that the playoff game or the regular season game comeback in Chicago. But they came back against them twice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not Jordan Love. That's Packers defense and special teams. So this is why I get so upset when people look at wins and losses and just look at quarterback play. Those games was lost on defense and special teams. But you know who took the brunt of the criticism? Jordan Love did. Now, in all honesty, if I'm grading both quarterbacks, Jordan Love is a better quarterback. Now, he's not as talented as Caleb, and he doesn't have as many big plays as Caleb down the stretch. But when you leave your team with a 21-point lead, you've played well enough to win the game. So this season, Caleb, Madden cover. Some people even
It just dropped
saying,
today, by the way.
yeah, some people are even picking him to be the MVP of the league. So for you to bring up that some experts are saying they should regress. Well, some are saying they're Super Bowl contenders. Some are saying Caleb should be the MVP. So depending on who you ask, it's a wide range of opinions. Me, myself, I tell people all the time, don't play the game in your head. The game have to be played on the field. Now, the Bears are going into a season, they ain't catching nobody by surprise. You lost some very valuable veterans, in my opinion. They traded away DJ Moore. You lost Kevin Byard. You lost
Edmonds. Is it Edmonds? Yeah, Edmonds.
Well, yeah. Well, he had some. He didn't play as well as many people thought he should, but he did contribute to some of the turnovers. He did have a couple interceptions and stuff like that. But his impact might not be missed as much because a lot of evaluations he didn't play particularly well. And any question if he even fit the system, the defense that Dennis Allen wants to run, whether or not he even fit the system at all.
Well, he in New York now, so
Kevin Byard, the kid that had all the picks, that had quite a few picks. Nahshon Wright.
Turnovers, total turnovers.
Okay. Kyler Gordon is not healthy. So I don't know what the deal is with him, but he's not healthy right now. This defense it's a lot of new people on it, a lot of new players on this defense. So they're coming in with the expectations from the whatever happened with the previous team of last season. So they're being hunted down for what was accomplished last season. It's different. It would be different if you had those guys coming back healthy with the expectations, not only to build on the ability to create turnovers and takeaways, but to just play better in the passing game. And most people knock the Bears for not having a pass rush. So these things have to play themselves out. The Bears have to be better on defense. You got to get some pressure on the quarterback. And this is year 2 of Ben Johnson and Caleb Wilson. If you remember the feeling, 2019 when the Bears had 2018 when the last time they had won the North, people went into the 2019 season with the same optimism. Do you remember who a lot of the national pundits were booking in as MVP, even though he was not the reason the Bears were good in 2018?
Don't tell me it was Mitch.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. They had Mitch as a favorite to be an MVP. Keep in mind, Mitch played okay, but he was not the reason why the Bears were good in 2018.
It was the defense again.
It was the defense, and they had a workhorse tailback named Jordan Howard. Now, much like DJ Moore, 2019 rolled around, they got Jordan Howard the hell out of town because Jordan Howard he was not satisfied with his role. He thought he should have been, a little bit more of a workhorse. And I don't think he really cared much for the way he was being used in that offense. They traded him out to Philly.
Was Tariq Cohen on that team?
I want to say he was.
Okay.
So they traded Jordan Howard out in 2019, and I compare that to trading DJ Moore. Keep in mind, DJ Moore in 2025, he played hurt a lot of games. For them to say his body language is bad, whatever the situation was, I don't know if he missed a game 2025. And he made big plays as well. Now they're going into a season where they're counting on Luther Burden and Rome Odunze, both of which had injury issues last year. They missed a few games due to injury. Colston Loveland. Most would think that he's probably one of the best up and coming tight ends in the NFL. Yet Colston Loveland was a little banged up in the beginning of the season. The one guy that was there was DJ Moore. So you can't lose all these veterans and you lose the guys. When you lose Kobe Bryant, which was supposed to be your Kevin Byard replacement, and now they're saying that the rookie that they just drafted out of Oregon, Dieterman, I think I'm saying his name right. Now they're saying he's kind of put on the island because he don't have them veterans around him. You're talking about Kyler Gordon and Kobe Bryant. You say what you want to say about Jalen Johnson. He has a lot to prove to you. Okay. You're not a huge fan of Jalen Johnson. You probably feel the same way about Jalen Johnson that I do about Caleb Wilson.
That would be accurate.
So Jalen Johnson has a lot to prove to you. So this is my expectations. I'm looking to see how the Bears respond to being a team that's hunted and scouted, and that defense has a lot to overcome with so many new players added to it. Montez Sweat has not lived up to his contract, most would say. And there's some other guys on the defensive line that has not lived. I haven't looked at that roster in depth, but we'll get into that further on down the road. Now, expectations for the Bears, for them to impress me, is NFC Championship game. NFC Championship game. Because that was my standard last year. And that's my standard this year. What I think you'll figure out, the number one thing for Caleb, we're going to wrap up soon. The number one thing for Caleb, in my opinion, he came into camp and he's lost weight. How is that going to affect his play? Now, I do believe that he'll pick that weight back up as the season progresses.
I wasn't a fan of it, to be honest with you.
Well,
that was one of his like key attributes, that he was so sturdy.
Yeah, and he was more of a thump. He could take a thump, and he could take a bump, and one of his biggest assets was the fact that he's been aware. I mean, he's been available and he's been healthy. Yeah. Now, losing that weight questions whether or not, if he could play it that way. And I don't doubt that he probably be more elusive, but if he takes the wrong hit, how is his body going to respond at that weight? You know what I mean? So Caleb Wilson, Madden cover, a lot of people picking him to be Caleb Williams. I mean, Caleb Williams, you can imagine how many times we're going to mess them two names up. Caleb Williams, the Madden cover. Some people saying that he's got the potential to be the MVP of the league. NFC Championship game or bust again. I like to send a shout out to my man Will Bates. I told him we'd be on tonight. So before I go off tonight, I want to send a shout out to my man Will Bates. I hate I went so long without saying that, but because he been texting me back and forth. You know, the Bears undefeated in practice. You know that, right?
Yeah. Just like everybody else across the league.
Yeah, they undefeated in practice. You know, it amazes me how everybody look at these practice highlights, and I get it because everybody they're just ready for some football. And NFC Championship or bust again for the Chicago Calebs. Now, what I will say is that the number one thing for Caleb to do is stay healthy. Staying healthy might be more beneficial than having as many big plays. Staying healthy and making the little plays is what most of the experts would say. His thing is he's got to play on time better and structure better. And if Ben Johnson wants to keep him accountable for this percentage, his the percentage of passes he's completing. He wants him to be around 70%, right?
70. That's the goal he put out there for him.
Yeah, that's what he wants him to be, and I believe in order for that to happen, he got to take what many would call the layups. He's got to be able to complete those passes. So that's got to happen, and he has to stay healthy because I do believe that if he's got to stay healthy, because I do believe if Tyson Bagent hit the field, he's not as talented as Caleb. Don't get me wrong. But I do believe that based on what we've seen from Tyson Bagent, he's not going to have the big plays, but he's going to play on time. And I believe that those are the plays that the coaching staff, what's the guy's name that played for Ohio State? He's quarterback coach for the Bears now.
JT Barrett.
Yeah, JT Barrett is known for saying Caleb got to do the little things. He got to make we need less of the hero and more of the the layup plays. Take the 5 yards, take the 5 to 8 to 10 yard pass, and you can even say that his last pass of the season, which was intercepted by Cam Curl, was a perfect opportunity for him to take the layups. Kyle Monangai was 2nd and 8. Kyle Monangai was about maybe 4 to 5 yards up the field. And regardless to how you may see it, they did not need a touchdown.
They did.
And that's the type of play. Yeah. That's the type of play that he's going to have to make going forward more often. He's got to make that play just to move the chains and play another down. And he has to stay healthy. Because again, if Tyson Bagent ends up on that field, I believe he's going to play on time. He's not going to have to make as many big plays as Caleb because the running game is going to bail him out. The running game is the reason why Caleb was successful because it was not Caleb is dangerous in it. He's dangerous. But when you don't know, when you getting blasted with that running game, it makes Caleb Williams, and any other quarterback much more effective. And people do not understand, most casual fans do not understand how effective the Bears were and how effective Caleb Williams was because of that running game. So if he stays healthy and takes the layups, he may be getting ready for a big payday. Gotta stay healthy because if Tyson Bagent hit the field, Ben Johnson is still gonna be playing to win. And the thing about it is, I'm telling you, he's gonna be playing to win. And he ain't gonna change it up because he thinks that whoever he put out there got to execute his stuff. So he's not gonna be worried about the hero ball. He's gonna be worried about the small ball. And I think Tyson Bagent may be a little bit better at that. Because as much as we regret it, and as much as we don't want to admit it, I didn't want to admit it at the time. He was a little bit better than that. He was a little bit better with that than Justin was. And when you consider he's 2 or 3 years in and got a whole year to sit back and watch this offense, you better keep his ass on the sideline, Caleb. And that's just all I'm going to say. MVP, some expectations are MVP. Some expectations are Super Bowl for MVP for Caleb. Some expectations are Super Bowl for the Bears. I say get to the damn NFC Championship game. You're about to beat 100 going into the season. Get to the NFC Championship game. Caleb don't even have to be the MVP. He just got to play well and have his name in consideration to get his new contract in the offseason. Those are my expectations for Caleb Williams. That's pressure. That's pressure. That's the pressure. That's the pressure point. He's under pressure. Caleb Williams is under pressure. And Caleb Wilson, I'm going to be a little patient with. But I'm going to put pressure on Caleb Williams' ass. And for all you the guys that don't understand why I feel the way I do about Caleb, it goes back to when Eberflus was the coach. Eberflus wasn't a good damn coach. And I think Eberflus was he's partially the reason why I suspended my fandom. Yeah. He was a joke as a football coach, in my opinion. But you never should be in a situation as a rookie where you're disrespecting anybody on coaching staff, and those allegations didn't sit well with me. After they fired Matt Eberflus, it was rumored that Caleb Wilson was disrespectful to Thomas Brown, the interim head coach. And I even heard that Ryan Poles, throughout the season, that's his rookie season, Ryan Poles was advocate for damn near allowing the disrespect around Hollis Hall. So it's hard for me to root for that. And I'm just the bottom line. It's just hard for me to root for that. Not taking that away from his talent. I'm just gonna have a little tough love for Caleb. And honestly, I just hope he don't diva out of Chicago.
That ain't gonna happen. The fan base too thirsty to have a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, well, you can be thirsty as hell, but divaing out is mean.
Oh, you talking about? Yeah, I get you.
Getting too big for this. Meaning, Jay Cutler divaed out of Chicago.
Yeah,
and that's my thing. It's a fine line.
But
how will he handle it? I'm telling you, there's going to come some adversity at some point. It's not going to be all roses around it. We honeymooning in Chicago, and I'm keeping it real. I'm that dude that I'm gonna keep it real, man. Go ahead.
That's why I go back to Ben Johnson, though. That's what Ben Johnson is the litmus test that's gonna keep everybody. Ben Johnson is what Michael Jordan is to that '90s team. It was about winning.
Hold on, now you hit me.
It was about winning.
Hold on. Yeah. Look here, man. Let me tell you something. I get emotional when people compare people to Michael Jordan. I will not allow you to compare Ben Johnson to Michael Jordan at all.
You get what I'm saying.
I just had to. Force. I understand that. But 1 year is not 10 years. 1 year is not 10 years. The tape is out. Yeah, the tape is out. 1 year is not 10 years. Michael Jordan had how many great seasons for the Bulls?
He had 7 before they started winning.
Man. Michael Jordan never had a bad year with the Bulls. Never. Michael Jordan's worst year as a Bull was as when he broke his foot.
Yeah.
And that's because he couldn't play. And he gave you a highlight even there. He shot the jumper sitting down with the boot on his foot. Don't you talk about Michael Jordan. Don't you compare Michael to nobody.
Listen,
no. Now, I'll tell you this. I had to correct one of my coworkers the other day. He said that Ben Johnson is the best coach to come to Chicago since Mike Ditka. And I say, whoa, whoa, whoa,
What
whoa,
about
whoa,
Phil Jackson?
bro. I'm talking about the Bears.
Oh,
I said, whoa, bro. Lovie Smith was a hell of a coach in Chicago. Lovie Smith got to the Super Bowl. I say again, 1 year is not 10 years. It's not 10 years. Ben Johnson, he got the bullseye on his back just as much as Caleb or anybody else on the Bears. Now, I believe in Ben,
there we go. Ben is the driving force. Ben is the standard.
but don't compare him to Michael. Please don't do that.
What I was saying.
Compare him to Lovey.
No,
Compare
no,
him to
no, no, no,
Lovey.
no, no, not. I can't even compare him to Lovey because Lovey
Ben
was.
Johnson's offense as of year one was just as relevant as Lovey's defense was. So that's why I say you could. Ben Johnson has to be better than Lovey. Then he can think about Ditka status.
I think he will be better than Lovey.
Okay, because I will give you this. Ben Johnson's offense is just as effective in year one. Ben Johnson's off, and we long-winded. We long-winded tonight because we should have got this over with. Ben Johnson's offense is just as effective as Lovie Smith's defense. Lovie was the coach. But 1 year is not 10 years. You see what I'm saying?
That I ain't arguing that part. I'm saying
we still in the honeymoon stage. Just don't I get emotional when people compare.
No,
people,
it's
when they, you know, don't compare them to Mike. Just don't do it.
You got to see the competitive drive that them.
No, bro. No.
Mike was not letting you come there and half step. Mike was not Scotty, you playing tonight. You saw the interview when they was walking out of Market Square.
I got it.
That's all I'm saying.
But we saw Mike go 1 year is not 10. That's all I'm saying. 1 year is not 10. Ben Johnson is to be compared to Lovie Smith. Michael Jordan
coordinator days into account too. I'm taking them stories where he telling people like what's my man that played with Odell Beckham, Javaris, they was both from the same school or whatever, and he telling him like, bro, you got Hall of Fame talent. I'm gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Like he's telling him this as a wide receivers coach. I'm hearing these stories. If you telling dudes like that, I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame and I'm standing on it. And just look at his career arc from a wide receiver coach down into Miami to what he did up there in Detroit. He was the reason that Detroit was what they was, because I think their window is closed now because Ben is gone. He's
1 year
accept nothing but the standard.
I got it. But Ben Johnson, 1 year is not 10. Ben Johnson is to be compared. Ben Johnson is to be compared to Lovie Smith. If he can, the only way he can surpass Lovie Smith is he has to win a Super Bowl. Then we can compare him to Mike Ditka. Because the one thing Mike Ditka did was won a Super Bowl. And he had the Bears contending every year up until the time he left. His ego was too big when they fired him.
Yeah, I know, and that's my hope for Ben.
So just be careful how you use Michael Jordan.
You preach to the choir because I'm like that too. I'm just saying.
No.
I think Lovie was a great coach. I think what's gonna separate Ben from Lovie is like
he got to win a Super Bowl. That's what separates Ben from Lovie.
No,
winning a Super Bowl.
The way they approach the coach and just looking at
I didn't get to I'm saying what separates Ben from Lovie is a Super Bowl. That's my standard.
I mean, he got there.
We could talk about mannerisms. We could talk about how they wear their hat. We could talk about.
But you can see it though. Watch the game.
I got you. And we're gonna be watching it when the rest of them guys got tape and they watched all of last year's tendencies on the coach and the quarterback. So all I'm saying is this is Ben Johnson's opportunity to prove there's levels to this. Lovie Smith is the standard, okay, for Ben Johnson, in my opinion. Because if he wins a Super Bowl, he surpasses Lovie. Okay.
If he gets to the Super
Now,
Bowl, he
now,
surpassed Lovey, don't he?
huh? Say again?
If he gets to the Super Bowl, let's just say Ben just get
He got to get. He got to lose 2 Super Bowls to surpass Lovey just by getting to a Super Bowl. But if he won 1 Super Bowl, he was surpassing outright. I don't care if the score is 3-0, and his offense ain't got to score a touchdown. He can win 1 Super Bowl, win 3-0 with a field goal, and he would surpass Lovie Smith, in my opinion. Now, this is what I'm telling you. Lovie Smith, this is his season to prove that he's not Mark Trestman. Okay? This is his season to prove that he's not Matt Nagy. Now, if he got to the Super Bowl, and if he won the Super Bowl, he can surpass Mark Trestman, Matt Nagy, and Lovie Smith in 2 seasons. My bottom line is, don't throw Michael Jordan's name out there when you comparing coaches and players. Just don't do it. I mean, the reason why I'm like this, because all this Philadelphia, and if LeBron win a championship, the 4th championship, get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
for all you guys still listening, we can have a show about this, and I might enjoy it. I might allow somebody to come up on panel. But as far as I'm concerned, and you can complete your case, but this is all I got to say about Michael Jeffrey Jordan being the GOAT. Because when LeBron decided to play with the Philadelphia 76ers, all that did in my mind was move Kareem up to 2, Magic up to 3. I got to look at my list. But it even moved Isaiah Thomas up a notch. Okay? So that just moved him further down the GOAT. LeBron is nowhere close to the GOAT in my book. In my opinion, LeBron James GOAT debate ended in 2011. And that's just how I feel about it. There was nothing he could do after that to get back in the GOAT debate. Now I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let you go. And you can have your opening statement, your closing statement, and you can cue the music. Okay? But LeBron James been out of the GOAT debate since 2011. Okay? LeBron James, look at all the All-Stars that he played with. He's the greatest free agent of all time. Okay? He's not the GOAT. The GOAT debate, and this is my point, the GOAT debate has been going on since Michael Jordan was trying to eclipse I don't know if a lot of people don't remember that. I don't know if you remember this. When Wilt Chamberlain and Michael was considered in the GOAT debate. You remember that, do you?
That was early
okay.
90s. Yeah.
So that was a GOAT debate. Then Michael shut it down, say, look, man, that's people's opinion. And Mike told everybody on a couple occasions, the GOAT debate is something they use to promote the game. So this is what I'm going to tell you. For all the barbershops, all the ESPNs and Fox Sports networks and all the sports media all around the nation, for all around the world, Jordan is the GOAT, and that's my opinion. And the GOAT debate has been a promotional tactic and a promotional tool promoted by ESPN, the NBA, ESPN, Fox Sports, and Clutch Sports. Okay, so it's been a campaign since 2011. LeBron ain't the GOAT. LeBron is the greatest free agent of all time. Bottom line. That's what his legacy is. We'll talk about it. And I pleaded my case, I'll give somebody else a chance to plead their case later on in the future. We can talk about Sixers. We're ready for some football now, though. What you got to say, Penn?
I ain't got nothing on that one because when you drop the clutch sports in the part of the narrative, I should have dropped an explosion on that.
That's all the GOAT debate is.
It's
been a promotional. It's been a promotional campaign since 2003. The minute they put LeBron in the league, and I was a fan of LeBron, but come on, man, LeBron's great, bro, great ball player. But with some of the things going on with LeBron right now, he's just moving other guys up on, in my opinion. I mean, come on, man. You can't go to the park, play with all the best players, and consider yourself the best. You ain't beat them. You didn't beat those guys. Jordan, he didn't go get with Isaiah. Jordan didn't go get with Bird. Jordan didn't go get with Magic. And as great a friend as Jordan was alleged to be with Charles Barkley, he never once tried to play with Barkley, other than the dream team.
Yeah.
The thought never crossed their mind. The GOAT debate has been a campaign since 2011, and it's time for us to let it go and let's get excited about these young guys. AJ DeBanson, Darren Peterson, what's the kid name? Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson, and for everybody, let's pray for Darius Acuff. Let's get on board with them dudes. We talk about the NBA when it's time to talk about the NBA. A couple months from now, but we ready for some football now. You got me fired up. Just don't talk about Mike. Don't do it. Don't compare Mike. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Mike number 1, Kareem number 2, Magic number 3. That's all I got. I'll let y'all know my list, the rest of my list at a later date.
Yo, if you with us on this point of video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Watch the Game Sports. We back for season, I think, what is this, 5? I think we're in 5 now. We started in COVID.
Yeah, we got to pick it up, man. We got to get this offense going.
Yeah.
Over here, we got to call more plays. We got to get the playbook full. Yeah, I got you. Thanks for watching. Share, subscribe.
And we out.
Get at you.